ADN, MRR, Turtle Master even getting 1 point right there. S2I still looking for it, but we've got a very important matchup going on right here, right now.
We do, and it looks like actually Insania is back, so if we want to have Insania jump on here, I love you, Beef, but...
Bye, stream.
Okay, so Insania is going to be joining us here.
Hello.
Oh, boy. Hello. All right, welcome back. Hey, you got it just in time anyway, so that's what really matters. So we got, of course, BMG versus Sync Esports. We were actually just talking about the group stages and how they're shaping up right now. BMG, they're in a comfortable spot. Even if they split this series, they're going to get first place. So that's a pretty big deal. They kind of have that to lean back on. Do you think that is affecting their play almost like, we at least got that late. We only need to win one game here?
I don't think so. I was talking to BMG earlier, and I was telling them and trying to explain to them how the points work and how they don't really need to win more than one game. If they win one game, they're set. But they want to make a statement, I think.
Yeah.
They want to show that, you know what, we've won every game so far, and we're going to continue winning. This is what we're here to do, and that's what we're going to do.
Yeah. Well, the other thing to keep in mind, if Sync Esports happens, well, more so if BMG wins this 2-0, that would leave Sync Esports, of course, at 4 points. And then if Turtle Master actually defeats Myth S2Y 2-0, Turtle Master and Sync would be tied with 4 points for that second and third place spot. So they would both still be advancing on, but they would need to play. They would actually do a best-of-1 play match to determine who gets the second seed and who gets the third seed, because that's important, determining who you face off early on the bracket stage. So, again, this is where it gets interesting. Our final match here for the group stages. All these scenarios can play out. That's kind of the important one here. But Insania, we're moving along here pretty quickly now as far as this drafting is concerned. So let's take a closer look, see what's happening. A little more of what we're used to, I think it's safe to say, with these two teams going at it. Pestilence, Puppet Master, Parasite, Sir Bensington. Gotta say, man, Puppet Master, he's been on fire this tournament. Yeah. I mean, hell, even the MRR versus Stay Green series, MRR used them both games. Obviously, they split it 1-1, but both those games, I think Ducoy, I believe is his name, he is a great player, first off. But, yeah, Puppet Master, dominating hero here. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, he's been doing really good at the event, and especially when paired up with Kronos. I think he still has a 100% win ratio when on the same team as Kronos. So it's a hero that's really dangerous to face. But when they ban these 4 heroes, they're leaving through Ophelia and Kronos. Both of these heroes have incredible high win ratios back at online. So it's a scary thing to do. But I've been talking to Denio, and they've been really confident. They've been saying that we know what to do against BMG. We're more confident against BMG and Stay Green than we are against most of the other teams, because we don't really know what the others do. And, there's something in the eyes of Flensmeister. I don't know what it is, but it feels like he knows something that I don't. So,
as in, the draft, or like just in terms of what's coming. I mean, they ran that Martyr earlier. I heard about that. They apparently it was to counter Parasite. No one ever taught why. Do you know why?
Yeah, because it's quite straightforward. Martyr's E ability makes him take less damage, less HP he gets. So basically, a Parasite won't be able to feed off of the supports to snowball. And when a Parasite isn't snowballing, the hero isn't really that effective.
Okay.
And they picked Kiness as their other support hero, which also has a shield ability, which prevents them from getting bursted from a hero like Parasite. So it was quite a smart draft from their end, and I'm pretty sure that's the reason why they picked those 2 supports over any others.
Interesting. Okay, so it's more just that tanky presence, a very hard-to-kill support. Very interesting. Okay. Anyways, not going to see that here, but yeah, that was definitely interesting here. And as far as thanks for the explanation. All right, the banning phase, obviously, well, first off, we got to talk about the picks, and we haven't even done that yet here. Ophelia, Kronos, and Torturer coming out for BMG. Strong lineup, definitely. But look at that Sync Esports lineup, too. Tempest, Warbeast, Rhapsody. Wow, holy push, Batman.
Oh, yeah, and this is something we talked about in NK. If you're going up against Kronos, there's no way you can let this hero get beyond 20, 25 minutes, because he gets so strong if he's allowed to farm.
Yeah.
Just, you got to force the fights early on, because he doesn't really do a lot of damage. He provides a lot of lockdown to your team, but in terms of damage, he doesn't really have a lot to offer until the later stages of the game.
Yeah.
So running the Warbeast and Tempest with the Rhapsody here, I think, is a very good decision from Sync Esports. It's a good respawn pick against what they're facing, but what they're facing is hard to play against.
Man, oh man, it's going to be interesting to see how they obviously move along here in this draft. Will they continue even more of a push kind of threat, or will it kind of taper off here? But we'll have to wait and see, obviously, how that goes. Wretched Hag, the following pickup, of course, coming out for Bad Monkey Gaming. That was after the Bubbles, Gauntlet, Drunken Master, Pharaoh, Dr. Repulsor, and Slither bands coming out here on the from between both of the teams even. you look at this Legion team right now, do you think they've done enough to address the push so far as the lineup is concerned, or do they even still need more?
I think they're doing something that's very typical BMG. Instead of picking counter-pushing heroes and heroes to dodge the team fight, they're going to take that fight and they're going to try and win it.
Yeah.
And this is very, very typical of them. They are all about that team fight, and they're good at it. So I like the way they're approaching it. It definitely fits their style.
All right, so we'll see how that finishes off here, obviously. Speaking of that, though, look at that pick, Devour, coming out. Did you see that coming? I mean, does that make sense here?
They've been talking about it. They've been talking about this hero a lot. And, I mean, when does it not make sense to pick Devour against BMG? You don't want to give that hero away to Super KG. He plays that hero phenomenally. But, I mean, Mickey is a very skilled player, and I have no doubt that he's going to play that Devour just as well as Super KG would.
Yeah.
But I'm more curious as to what they're picking last. I think that hero is really going to determine what kind of a strategy they're going to go for. And so far it's been looking like a really hard push, but they went for this kind of a strat earlier, and they lost with it against Turtle Masters when they had a hard carry. So it's interesting. I'm interested to see if they dare to go for the all-in push again, or if they're going to play more, maybe pick a hard carry here and just run the split push.
Magnus coming out with the final pick over here for Bad Monkey Gaming. Super KGE's been playing a bit of Magnus even going into the event. Notice that as far as this recent history goes. So kind of tapering off of those hook-style heroes. A hero like Magnus kind of coming up in place. And in fact, we even saw him play Pharaoh earlier on in this event. Earlier on today even. So of course, in that first round, or the first matchup of the day for them. So Magnus to finish off, though. AoE Synergy, they most certainly got that working for them. Team Fight is definitely the name of the game over here. Looks like. And
that's what they like to run. Oh, wow. Bloodhunter. That's a very big surprise pick to me. I think this is something to do with the Chronos for sure. It's a hard hero to deal with in lane. He has bonus damage coming in from his stun hit, as well as a lot of rewind procs. And I think a lot of these ranged heroes that you normally see matched against Chronos, they don't have the base damage to compare. Whereas Bloodhunter will have that. He'll have the damage to get the last hits, and he will also be able to harass the Chronos and get heal back from the creep kills.
Bloodhunter was one of those interesting heroes where he got changes, it got attention to him, and for good reason. It was his feast ability, I think it's called, where obviously he's now able to activate it on an enemy creep and instantly kill it. Basically gets a free bounty, and can heal up off of it, of course. But like we've seen it with other heroes in the past, it was used quite a bit initially, but then it's like, yeah, you know what, not so much anymore. They kind of went through a phase where it died off pretty quickly. Is that safe to say? I mean, did that surprise you, or does that kind of make sense to you?
I think it has a lot to do with Nox disappearing from the NAEU scene, because he was the guy that was playing it all the time.
All right.
Flensmeister also played it, but not as frequently. So I think a lot of it has to do with Nox. He liked the hero, and he played it in TMM way before the changes as well, so I think it has to do with that.
All right, so we're going to see it here by Flensmaestro, according to his name. I always love that with an event like this. Of course, they have to make their new accounts being on the Garena client over here, so it's always fun. And for the most part, you're usually able to understand who's who, of course. That's the purpose, obviously. But you get names like Ninja Mickey's, Lappy-Doo, Zaport, clever. Anyways, enough about that. All right, so the game itself, obviously we're going to pause here. Looks like a couple of the player from each team actually just going to use a restroom real quickly before we advance on. Obviously, you want to get that out of the way before we move on here, but laning situation. I mean, do you expect we could see something a little curveball here, or do you pretty much think it's going to be what we expect in terms of just going where we expect them to go?
I think it's going to be pretty straightforward. You're going to have the Torture in the Magnus middle lane, Kronos up at the Suicide, Wretched Hag in the short lane.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think this is probably optimal lanes for both sides. There's not really much to do with these lineups. They're very straightforward. These are played out. They're pretty practiced. Devourer and Bloodhunter are not two heroes that we usually see, but in terms of strategy, they're still playing the same kind of game.
Mm-hmm. All right, so again, we'll see how that laning situation comes about. So real quickly, too, obviously, as far as other matchups that are going on, I believe, so I think I want to say it's, and actually, I think we actually have that graphic to show you guys, so also it helped me out, to be honest, because I'm trying to remember here the exact matchups that we have coming out while we're sitting this pause break, but I think it's Stay Green versus Cats, I want to say. Okay, there you go. So as you can see on your screen, yeah, Stay Green versus Cats right now, MRR versus ADN. That's interesting, actually, because MRR, even with that 1-1 split, they only have 1 point now because they, of course, wait, do they?
No, they
went 1-1 against Cats. Yeah. That's right, they have 2 points. So they got 2 points, but still 2 points, obviously, coming out for them, splitting both their series. ADN's actually has 3 points because of their results so far. they are going to be playing MMR. So that's very important because Cats Gaming, they're sitting on 1 point themselves. So it's like, which of those 3 teams is going to be left behind? If Cats Gaming manages a win, I guess I'd put them at 2 points, at least 1 win. They would need to go 2-0 pretty much against Stay Green. Now I really think about it. And that would put them at, 4 points? So we'll have to wait and see, obviously, how it ultimately plays out. But, another thing to note here is why it's kind of important looking at that chart right there is the prize pool breakdown, actually, as far as this event goes, because with the Esports Foot Locker introduced as well on top of the $150,000 prize pool, we're looking at $8,000 for a 7th, 8th place team. That's some good money just for showing up to the event, being in the group stages. That's a lot of good money. So no matter what, they're actually just getting some decent money here, being at this point. But it bumps up to $13,000, just over $13,000 if you advance onto the bracket stage. You're at least guaranteed that much. There's a lot of money, man. Even just looking at it now, it's ridiculous. All the way up to $55,315 for first place.
Yeah, I mean,
wow.
$8,000 was the first price for DreamHack Winter 2013. That is how much money it is here. That's the last place here. All you have to do is make the tournament, and you're winning as much as Stay Green did back in Sweden. So, yeah, that is a lot of money on the line.
Holy crap! So yeah, that's pretty crazy to think about. So obviously we'll have to keep in mind in terms of which of those teams are going to be left behind. But say that lightly, because again, there's at least going to open something. But still, advance on. It really starts to grow as you advance on, of course. So obviously the players look like they were back, but just waiting real quick. It looks like maybe Slaps had an issue there with his microphone, so I'm going to get that figured out and good to go again, especially with this matchup, with it being so important for Sync Esports here and everything. They really want to make sure they're good to go, and understandably, and as you put it too, I am not surprised to hear that BMG, even though they only really need to win 1 game, they want to win both, because as you said, they're here to make a statement. That's not surprising to me whatsoever. They have, out of all the teams so far, I mean, they are undefeated. They're the only team that's undefeated, so I think it's safe to say they're looking the best right now. Yeah,
they are. I mean, they've also been the most convincing in their games. It's not been these even games that it has been for Sync and SG. They've been very dominant. There was this one game where they got 4 or 5 man hold, I believe, which was rather even, but it still ended at like 40 minutes, and it was very convincingly in their favor still.
Well, I noticed also when going around, when I was walking around while Beef and Nova were casting the other series, BMG, I mean, a lot of the teams are communicating quite a bit, but BMG is really like, they're in Swedish. I don't know what they're saying, but you can tell, they're communicating back and forth when they're about to make plays and whatnot. So it really is cool to see that in this environment. I mean, walking around, I saw that as I talked about earlier when we were on that break with us, where it was, I think it was Turtle Master. They were taunting BMG while they're playing them, up and like clapping and everything. It's awesome seeing that. You're kind of that style of player,
exactly.
aren't you?
It makes a big difference. I mean, Swindle's normally really, really loud, and I think you're going to notice more when they're up on stage, because right now you can't really hear the players and you can't really see them, but it has a big impact, because anything you can do to distract the players and get their mind off of the game just really is a big deal. So you got to be loud. You got to do that stuff, and it helps you. I think you play better as well. You get more confident, and when you're more confident, you play better.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. So, again, it looks like there's actually now a technical issue that I believe Slap just trying to get figured out here before we do move on. You're not Nova.
I'm
logging into his account to join this game.
I did promise the viewers that I would look a little bit more like Nova during this game, though.
Yeah, getting pulled off.
Look at this.
The glasses. I love it. By the way, that also reminds me, look at this mouse.
It's so cool.
They provided this mouse for me, and I'm just like, I fell in love. It's an Iron Man mouse. It's basically in the shape of Iron Man's helmet. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I don't even know what kind of mouse it is. I don't even care. It's a Marvel Iron Man 3 mouse. That's what matters. Anyways, Marvel Iron Man 3 mouse for all your spectating needs. All right, so just trying to have some fun here while food. You were eating some food. We just had some food as well.
Yeah.
Food good here?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, you got to get these food cards, which is quite cute.
Yeah.
And you got to load them with money, and then
then
you can use them. Yeah.
It's like cafeteria style.
Exactly. No, that's pretty cool. I was actually down there with Stay Green, and they're really surprised at how well the Thai teams are playing. They're like, BMG and Sync might have gotten the easier group. Like, being in that group might have been easier for us than playing against these guys. And that's what they're saying. That's what Chessie is saying. And Jesse's not the kind of guy to just walk around and say stuff. When he says that, he really means it. So
they did just come off a loss to
exactly,
MR.
Exactly.
And the second game was very close, too.
It was.
It's not surprising to hear that caught them off guard a little bit.
Yeah, no, I mean, maybe Thai teams are finally catching up.
Yeah.
ADN, they played a pretty close series against Stay Green, too. At least in the first game, it was very even, very back and forth. And even though they were very far behind in the second game, they still managed to put up a pretty good show.
So I was actually trying to think about this right now. So if Cats, realistically, say if Cats Gaming is able to split the series against State Green, that would put them at 5 points I'm all tabbing here and you're seeing everything. Anyway, so that would put them at 5 points. And then if ADN actually goes 2-0 against Turtle Master, that would put them at I think it was 6 points. So there's still a chance State Green may not finish first place in the group. And, when they were going – when we were on the bus ride here today, they were talking about as far as getting prepared for today and everything. They're like, we don't need to worry about the quarterfinals because, we're going to leave after our final group stage match because we don't need to worry about the quarterfinals because we're going to the semifinals automatically.
Yeah, no, I was talking to Chessie was saying, too, I have no plans on playing the quarterfinals still. He's like, I'm going back to the hotel. I'm going to go play ping pong. I'm going to have fun. I'm not staying. So, there's the possibility is definitely there, but they're so mentally prepared to win this game, and they're going to do whatever it takes.
Yeah. All right. It looks like he might be fine now. I think we're actually good to go here for game number 1 in BMG versus Sync Esports. We just had to keep you waiting a little bit longer. We know everyone's been really waiting for this matchup here, especially us. We're really looking forward to casting it, of course. And we have finally made it. Bad Monkey Gaming versus Sync Esports again. Group stage is the final match here of the group stages. As long as I don't die. I know Beef was dying earlier on cast too. But yeah, so of course BMG technically only needs to win 1 game, but again, as we were saying, really they're here to win both in the end. And I wouldn't be surprised if they give it all their effort to do so. Anyways, here we are. As far as the start of the game goes, Magnus, they're looking for Congo. It's almost as if they were expecting a Congo attempt here out of Sync Esports. Just making sure, though. I
think no teams here wants to get cheesed. And if there's a slight possibility that a team goes Congo, they're going to make sure to check it. Interesting start here, though. We see Mickey down at the bottom lane together with support, but there is no jungler support from them. So Tempest is actually going to be in his own jungle, and they're manning up on this dual lane down bottom, which is going to consist of Ophelia together with a Hag. And I think what they're thinking here is that even if the Torture rotates, you don't really want to dual lane a Hag. So they're going to be able to farm that long lane, and Keizu's going to do better in the middle lane than he would otherwise. And this is something Stay Green did a long time back, where they would have Chessie middle on a War Beast and run a dual lane long lane.
Yeah.
So it's not completely unseen, but it's a little bit new, and I'm not really sure if you want to match up a Devo against a Hag. So I think Fuzi's going to have a pretty good time down here, even though they're going up against this dual lane.
Yeah, that is really interesting to see, but Ninja Mickey, a.k.a. Mickey here, of course, on that Devour, like you're talking about. He's just a good player.
Hansen's not paying attention.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he was definitely not paying attention. It's not like they were hitting or anything. He was just simply sitting there, and he's going to be bloodlusted. That is a mistake.
That is a big mistake. They're going to block 2 of his medium camps here as well. And I think he just upgraded the courier. No, he didn't. Okay, that's lucky at least. So he's going to have gold to buy a TP, get back into the jungle as soon as possible. But this is going to give Mickey a very early boots. And with that, this lane is going to be so much harder for Fuzi.
You're just sitting there saying, like, yeah, so at least he could have a good time. Well, not if you give him a bloodlust kill. I mean, yeah, no, that was very, very, again, that was just simply just wasn't paying attention. Whatever he was doing, not too sure, but that was obvious. Not paying attention. Anyways, he is back now, but as you mentioned, look at the blocks here. You see support on the Rhapsody, making sure to block it again at that minute mark, puts the ward of sight down. It's going to be a difficult start here for Hansen. He's the god of, counter warding and everything, but because of the start that he has, man, I mean, 4 of the camps are blocked. That is just absurd.
They're using Keizu's Hellhounds on the War Beast here to block even more camps than they're doing with just the wards. And this is very typical Denial. They like to play the farm control game. They like to play the game where you'll slowly get further ahead. And Hansen's going to realize that he has no camps to deal with. And by the time he does realize that, Slap is going to be level 4. And the Tempest at level 4 is probably one of the strongest junglers in a jungle versus jungle situation.
Yeah.
He can deal with a Parasite. He can deal with an Ophelia. That's not going to be a problem at all.
This is definitely top notch here from Sync Esports. So again, it's one of those cases they did their research. I mean, they've played against each other not thousands of times, but it seems like even almost hundreds of times. So they know each other's play style. But now again, you know Hanskin, he's good at the counter. And if you block all those scamps, as you said, even with the Wolves, I mean, he's doing that right here. A counter ward goes down, yet the Wolf is blocking it. So will Hanskin even pick up on this, or will he just be confused forever? I'm sure he's smart enough Flair to pick up on it, definitely, but. That's good. I mean, what does he do here? Does he? I mean, where can he go? He just has to deal with this, I guess.
There's really not a lot of options. I mean, he can see the Wolves blocking the camp, so what can he really do about it? As long as Keizu moves them around and makes sure he doesn't get to hit them down, they have a lot of HP. It's going to take a long time for him to kill him. He's actually taking over a small creep into small camp. He's just farming with that. But this is what I was talking about earlier with Cleansemeister. It feels like he knows something that I don't.
Yeah.
And you can just look at his strategy. This is very similar to Stay Green back at HoN Season 1 Finals when they started the whole blocking camps thing with Scout and the wards. They're just one step ahead. They gave away the Ophelia, but they knew how to deal with it, and it's showing right now. Very smart play from Sync Esports, and it's paying off.
You know,
can still level 1.
Something I actually completely looked over, and I apologize for this. If Sync Esports wins this 2-0, they're going to get first place here in the group stages. But anyways, we do see at the top lane, there is initiation on a Bloodhunter. In the meantime, at the bottom lane, there was a kill on a Wretched Hack, of course, but back to Bloodhunter. He's trying to run away. The impalement's up. Will it be enough for the kill? Not just yet. He turns around with an auto attack, actually puts the silence on, but not enough. And down goes Bloodhunter, so big dive coming out right there from the Legion team, and it does result in a kill. In fact, it could be more, actually. Tempest coming in right here. He cuts off Torture, gets a 1 kill, and now it's Kronos versus Torture. Kronos does not have enough mana. He has to stand his ground. He puts in the auto attack for the stun right there. Maybe a couple more needed. Yeah, it's not going to be enough, actually. Kronos will survive in the end. And again, at the bottom lane, remember, Wretched Hack also died throughout all that.
Yep. I mean, Sync Esports are having a really good start in this game. And Slap is he's looking good in the jungle. He's level 5 already. He's going to hit 6 pretty soon probably as he got that kill and some bonus experience. But yeah, no, Sync Esports, it looks like they've practiced this. They know what they're doing. And look at this actually. There's a courier here from Hanskin looking for wards. He just now must have realized that the Wolves are blocking the camp, but Mick is going to walk over there and get the kill on him. This is very smart play from Sync Esports.
Yeah, this is a very, very, very good start. You were right, man. As you put it, Flensmatch to the captain of the team. Maybe it was a team effort in the end, but he is in that captain's role. Clearly, they were here. They were prepared here for today, especially this first game here against BMG. Once again, though, Bloodhunter at the top lane. He's in trouble. He puts the beautiful silence on a Torturer right as he was coming in. He was putting the chain reactions. He had the animation going, but the silence from Bloodhunter stops the attempt, and he will be fine as a result of that.
And in the mid lane, Super KG was diving a little bit, trying to find Keizu out of position, who's actually bought a bottle on his Warbeast. And that's probably because he's spamming the Wolves so much that he needs to get the extra mana, and the extra HP actually helps him. So he's using these Wolves to continue to block camps. It looks like Hanskin's finally going to get 1 camp at least. Or no, is he? No, support's actually warded it now that the Wolves aren't there. So Hanskin's really suffering at the moment.
Well, okay, so let me ask you this. Yes, they're countering Hanskin here hardcore. That could be a good strat. As, yeah, you see right there. Actually, the Hellhounds even trying to get some good farm out of it. But is this worth it? I mean, is this going to be worth it? It is sacrificing Warbeast a little bit. He's not using his Hellhounds for his own sake. He's blocking camps with it, at least for the most part. Is this worth it? It
definitely is, especially considering the way they laned it. Normally, you'd see the Warbeast need the Wolves to be able to pull camps, to be able to get the creeps to his lane so he gets lane control. But since he's in that middle lane, he's not really that afraid of dying. And Magnus Torture isn't the most dangerous lane until level 6 on Magnus, which he finally has hit. And Torture's been roaming around a lot, so he's getting decent farm in the meta lane, and he's definitely getting experience, which is really all that hero needs.
That was interesting. Fuzi actually bat-blasted Devour here at the bottom lane and then kind of just walked away. It's almost as if he completely miscalculated how tanky Devour was right there. Not exactly sure if that was just simply... I mean, that's not an ability you really misclick. So that was just... that was clearly a conscious decision, but yeah, not enough for the kill. So in the end, Devour's going to be fine, and Bat-Blast is going to be on cooldown right here. So I gotta wonder. I mean, I hate to say nerves, because, you know, you're already 2 series in. In fact, they're 4-0 so far, but maybe a little too much confidence. I don't know, but BMG, a couple places, a little bit questionable so far. Here to start game number 1, and Sync Esports helping to put them on tilt even with this strategy that they have at hand. Speaking of that, by the way, Devour is having a ridiculously good farm. 355 gold per minute. How much of an impact do you think that's going to have, though? What is a farm Devour? How is he scary like?
The problem with the Devourer is normally that he doesn't really scale that well into the late game, But in this kind of a strategy where they're running the push, it's not really going to matter. As long as he gets that early Blink Dagger, I hope that he goes for, they're just going to be able to control the map. Or if he decides to go for a Helm of a Black Legion or something more tanky, the push needs to happen. So it really comes down to what kind of a strategy do they want to run here. Warbeast forced to use the ult in the middle lane as well.
Yeah, he actually got away right there. He wants the top lane torture. He has the hemorrhage on him. He's still running around. The impalement, he will end up falling. Want to go back in and assist with the kill of Tempest. So that's still a worthy exchange, definitely. But Bloodhound actually picks up Steam Boots here, and now he's chasing a couple of heroes. Rhapsody's in pursuit, as well as Devour, but I don't think it's going to get close enough. As, yeah, Chronos just a little bit too far away right there. So it is a favorable exchange still for the Legion team, but especially with the resources that were used. Devour going all the way up there and not getting anything out of it in the end, unless Chronos. No, he should be fine though. Kind of going back and forth.
Yeah, and Magnus is actually still at that middle lane, farming away, and he's looking good. Super KG's getting that Blink Dagger. Normally the problem with a hero like Magnus is that there's a lot of pressure applied to him, and he isn't really that strong in lane, and he struggles to get that portal key in time. So him getting a good start is really good for them.
Yeah. Middle lane, you do see Magnus. Speaking of that, he is in a little bit of trouble, and Devour was used. Can he get the hook is the question. Yes, he can! Mickey's like Super KGE. Hook this. What a hook coming out from Mickey right there. Gets the kill on Magnus. And that's got to be momentum, if anything, man. That was huge. Just as you were saying, Magnus is, he is getting a good start because he's not being pressured like he usually would be. Gets taken out.
Yeah, beautiful hook there from Mickey. He actually lost vision of that mag for a long time. Super KG Devour just ran straight forward and back to base, but he chose not to, and he got punished for it. Up top, Chronos is getting caught in. Bloodhound is diving deep, and he's going to get that kill with his ultimate and silence.
Yeah.
Tempest being there for the support as well. This is going to open up a tower push for them.
Yeah.
But, okay, no, never mind. That just looked really weird. Looked like he had lifesteal. But I suppose it's his beast ability.
Yeah, by the way, I know we had the replay going on for that big hook right there, but it was just basically a simple dive onto Chronos here at the top lane and chased him into the tower. Used the hemorrhage, of course, chased him in and eventually got the kill. Now, in the meantime, with the Magnus, he's actually going to be silenced as well. He cannot stun at the result. Will they be able to chase him down, though? Probably not. No hemorrhage up as a result of what happened earlier, so he is going to be fine. What happened down here? Warbeast actually, what the hell killed him?
Yeah, Fuzi went for a very deep dive, and he actually managed to get the kill on the Warbeast, but he died himself in return, so I don't really think that was worth it. Fuzi needs to start snowballing a little bit. Looking at the farm over here at BMG, it's not looking good at all.
Yeah.
That start to prevent Hanskin from really taking over the game is hurting them a lot. He is normally the kind of playmaker on their team, and he's the guy that sets stuff up and makes movement happen, and shutting him down seems to be the key to winning against them.
Hanskin's level 3. Oh, what a hook again coming out from Mickey out of Magnus right there, but in the end, he does have a stun up, so of course this time he's going to be fine. Couldn't get the Devour off in time. But yeah, Hanskin's level 3, man. I mean, this is working. It's ridiculous how much under-farmed he is, both in gold and experience, especially when you compare it to that Tempest. He is just a completely outclassed here because of Sync Esports on the ball, with making him an absolute priority. So yeah, you're right. Maybe that is that he's their captain in the end, so he's not able to lead the troops even in terms of pushing with Ophelia. Now, bottom lane, Warbeast actually being found here in the jungle. You see Wretched Egg is going to chase him down, but as we just saw, he dove last time and eventually got counter-killed as a result, despite getting the kill as well. So not going to go for this time. Warbeast just runs away in that ulti farm. But it looks like maybe Ophelia now is going to start to get a little bit of farm, but even the Hellhounds are back over here, and they're just going to keep him occupied at the very least. Keeping him in check. I guess is a good way to put it here.
Yeah,
and
there's not really been a lot of pushes happening from Sync Esports, but they've really got the items that they need. As Magnus gets initiated on the middle lane, and a kill is secured on him, but looks like Devour's going to go down. Unless Tempest can get the hole off.
Oh, that was big right on the outskirts. Chronos did not place in the best positioning. Torch is going to fall right there. Chronos going over and make a big bad blast coming out from Wretched. Chronos still alive. The rewind proc a little bit right there. You do see Bloodhound kind of chasing back and forth. In the end, though, no more kills going to be happening. So, a couple of big things right there. The Chronosphere just on the outskirt of Tempest, not able to cancel the ultimate. But in the end, Wretched also a big bat blast coming out. Makes some big plays with that. You see right there, Chronos going to go in with the teleport. And he goes back just fine. But crazy back and forth right there.
Yeah, interesting pickup on Slapper. He's gone for the phase boots. I've actually been keeping an extra eye on the jungle players during this tournament. And he's been going Steam boots pretty much exclusively against the Thai teams. And he's chosen to go for phase boots here, so that's quite an interesting pickup, especially when you're pushing very hard early game and you're playing against a lot of magic damage. I would have actually preferred to see the Steam boots together with investments here.
All right, so yeah, going the Ghost Marchers here, so we'll see if that pays off or not. Bloodhunter, he had the Blood Suds activated. I think that was because of Tempest, actually, but he has healed up, so it's going to be fine for now. But Devour, in the meantime, he's being chased down. Kronos is here. No Kronos here, though, remember. Devour's going to go, no, right on top of him. Magnus does in the background, but he doesn't have team support nearby. Magnus, not protecting the Melody, comes out. Magnus going to fall right there. Kronos gets pulled back in. Devour's still alive. He's going to live. No, he will die when it's all said and done. As Wretched Blink's going to finish him off. Kronos is dead, though, and now Wretched on the run, however. His hemorrhage up, no, he used it throughout the midst of that fight. But his silence comes out on a Hag. I don't think they're going to have enough, though. I don't think that's going to last long enough. Yeah, it wears off right there. And she will blink away. But it looks like Sync Esports does come out on top of that fight pretty big time. And Warby's actually going to come back to the middle lane here. The tower is low. Oh, I wonder if actually Torture might be in a little bit of trouble. Just a Hellhound, so no, he's going to be fine.
Yeah, no, good fight there taken by Sync Esports. They know they're ahead. They've made their play. They had this secret strategy that they had prepared as initiation's happening.
Wow. I mean, talk about everything lining up perfectly right there as far as perfect timing goes. Oh, but speaking of perfect, here comes Magnus. The eruption that goes off, and this could be big here for Bad Monkey Gaming. 2 are down. It will be a third Super KGE hat trick coming out for Magnus. Big plays all around here.
Yeah, huge plays there from Super KG, finding himself at the right spot at the right time. And what a big punish.
Yeah.
Sync Esports were looking so good. They had their secret strategy prepared. They knew how to put them at a disadvantage. And just look at that stun. He waits, such patience, lines up the triple. And I was thinking, why isn't he hitting Rhapsody? But look at that team support from Steel Kid coming in. Gets the stun off, making sure Magnus can get the follow-up ulti. And that cleans up the team fight beautifully from them.
Wow. That was, yeah, just beautiful timing. So, what a game we have here. I mean, we were expecting a hell of a game, a hell of a series for sure, but wow. I mean, this is even exceeding expectations already, and we're only 13 and a half minutes in. 23 hero kills combined right now in 13 and a half minutes here in game number 1 of this Best of the 2 series, of course. So, big picture, though. Where are we at? Magnus, Portal Key soon? Not just yet. Speaking of Ghost Marchers, he goes to Ghost Marchers as well. What do you think about that situation there?
It's something that Super KG has been doing on Magnus pretty consistently. I'm even surprised he's not playing that Cryo Magnus skin, which he always runs, but I suppose that's because we're on the Thai client and he doesn't have access to it. But, no, in general, like, Sync Esports, they had a lineup prepared, they had a strategy prepared to deal with this, and they were ahead. They were really far ahead. Now they've kind of lost a lot of that advantage as they lost 3 heroes down there in the jungle. And that gives Hanskin a little bit of space, a little bit of time, but look at that hook from Mickey's going to catch him, and that's a kill secured.
Yeah, missed the hook, but it sounded like it was pretty epic right there for Mickey. You know, gets the kill. The minions are going to be picked up as well. Insania. Hanskin's level 5.
I know. He's struggling really hard.
We're 14 and a half minutes in, and Hanskin is level 5. This is ridiculous how much they're locking him down. In the meantime, Kronos coming in. Look at that spread there coming out. He will get the Kronos coming out in the background. What a hook by Devour. He hooks it. Tavis sets up the ultimate. No, he's not going to use it just in the meantime. Blood is alive. The Protective Melody saving it for now. There's the Tempest ultimate. It's not going to be stopped. Beautiful timing coming out from Slash right there. Kronos time himself. Tempest will go down. Kronos, he's on the outskirts. The hook is going to be dodged as a result. Kronos is down. Yes, he will get killed. And now, will Devour kill himself is the question. He is going to be fine. He gets away for now. Ophelia and Wretched are chasing. Will she have enough mana? She does have enough for the blink, but nothing to follow. So Devour is going to be fine. Another crazy fight right there. Who came out on top?
I think Sync are doing good in these fights. I think they're getting what they need to get. They only lost Tempest. They did lose Bloodhunter, who's struggling really hard. But Mickey's playing so good. Just take a look at this fight. You see patience from Slap at the start, the good spread from them, as you talked about. Kronos is going to ulti too, but meanwhile down here, they're going for the Bloodhunter. So there's a lot of split action going on from BMG, not really focusing a target, and support is able to get that huge protective melody off to make sure that Bloodhunter gets away initially. But a little bit of a misplay makes Lensmeister die in the end.
You know what? It was still an epic fight overall, but Devour, when he hooked Tempest out of the Chronosphere, I thought he was going to set up an ultimate right there. That would have been epic proportionally, I think. But no, but still in the end, crazy fight. Again, this game just continuing that way. So Sync Esports continues to be in the lead here, but BMG, I mean, they're still doing enough to at least hold their own. And again, that team fight presence is clearly shown. I mean, we saw what can happen if Magnus gets a big stun into an eruption, how that sets up beautifully. And that was without a Chronosphere or anything like that to follow it up. So this tower is going to follow the bottom lane. Port coming in. That's a very late port. Okay, yeah, it's going to be canceled. Not worth it there to continue to go in. Ophelia is still level 5. They don't even have a Ophelia's touch yet with that ultimate.
They're continuing to use those wolves effectively to block the camps. The support is using wards and counter wards to continue to do that. And this is very typical Sync. They are going to do whatever they can to prevent you from farming and just try and out-farm you. I saw against the Thai teams, they were trying to run the same kind of style, and they won game, they did lose. Actually, team fight.
Big Chrono Spear right there. Temps on the outskirts. He can't really do too much. Bloodhunter's going to be locked down. He gets tabbed at 4. Will he get away? The Energizer proc coming off. In the meantime, Magnus does it on Devour in the background. Bloodhunter will let no, he will not. Regidak finishes him off. Tempest going to go for the TP. He is successful because he's hiding behind the tree, but Devour is now in a lot of trouble. Rhapsody there to support, but Rhapsody's just going to die as a result of that. BMG, they win this fight big time right here. That all started with that Chrono Spear coming out from Jonas Fan. 3-0 hero kill exchange. And they are really starting to climb back in here to this game. There's the portal key on a Magnus. A huge, absolutely huge pickup, of course.
Yeah, it definitely isn't. Sync Esports are overextending quite a lot at the moment, I feel. And instead of playing it smart, they're pushing at the wrong areas. If they push at the towers, they're able to position themselves much better than they are in the jungle. And taking the fight out here in the jungle is not the right decision.
Yeah.
Ophelia finally is level 7 now. Actually got some experience from all those heroes dying. And is starting to recover a little bit, but still not really had the biggest impact. And this is not a hero that you expect to do well in the late game.
Yeah.
Sure, she really shines in the early game when she's able to apply pressure and gank.
A lot stronger in that phase of the game is definitely safe to say. So, you know, we talk about it all the time. Do not give up Ophelia, especially to a player like Hansen. Just don't do it. It's backfired so many times in the past. Unless you have a strategy like Sync Esports has here. They clearly came to play. And obviously that showed here, or has shown even, here in a game number
Number 1?
Game number 1, of course. That's where we're only in game number 1. Got to keep reminding myself of that here.
So much action you might think you've already seen a game. But no,
yep.
I was going to say, Case is continuing to use those wolves. Just now they were at the Ancients blocking the camp, and they have the hard cam block from Hanskin as well. So he is struggling so hard, and they're continuing to put the all-in effort to make sure that he doesn't farm. However, the downside to doing all this blocking is that Case is not really getting that much farm anymore. At the start of the game, it was fine, as he had the lane to fall back on.
Oh, Magnus misses the stun of the Bloodhunter. As big a play Super KG has made this game, that was not one of them. Unfortunately, misses the stun. Bloodhunter gets away. I mean, I had the camera ready. That was setting up. It was going to be a kill on the Bloodhunter, unless that happened. So, big unfortunate miss there. Coming out from Magnus, especially with the way this game is at. That's got to hurt them. That's got to hurt them. I got to ask you real quickly, in Stadia, Kronos here. Do you think we're going to see the usual restoration style build, or will they go for more of a carry presence here?
I'd expect the restoration stone build simply because the 6-second lockdown, instead of making him a carry, it pretty much provides his entire team a carry because they're all allowed to stand outside and do damage. The only other melee hero except for himself is Magnus.
Yeah.
And Magnus is going to be dropping that huge ulti on top of it, and it's going to be doing a lot of damage. So definitely expect to see that refresher stone on Kronos here.
Yeah. In the meantime, Magnus is farming up the top lane, what he can with it at least. He's at the bottom lane, the Roman over here. Regidak does have that life brand finished. Grimoire, of course, going to be next in line, but still a little bit of ways off. Uzi's farm, 240 gold per minute, not too bad at all. But about 20 minutes in, not enough to have the Grimoire course just yet by any means, and still, again, a little bit longer. Devour, we talked about the early farm that Devour had. He still actually have a great farm. I mean, hell, a lot of people in this game are having a pretty solid farm, really. And I think the result of that is because of all the kills, of course, that we're seeing back and forth. But Devour, it's allowed him to kind of go that utility style ability. He has a tablet command. What do you think? Maybe like a barrier idol next? Could be good against the leading team?
It definitely is possible, and it's a very strong item when you're going up against Tag and Magnus. However, I really don't like the build that Mickey's gone for. I think he's been playing amazing, but I would have much more like to see a Helm of the Black Legion or a Blink Dagger go for that full initiation or go for that team fight build where you can stay up front and be that tanky presence. The tablet, of course, great to help out your teammates, but there were so many other heroes that could get him on his team. For example, the Tempest or the Rhapsody. So I just don't like the pickup.
Yeah. How about this? Slapped getting the portal key here. No Astrolabe or anything like that. He had the bracers, but he decided to go for the portal key follow-up.
Yeah, I don't like that item build from him.
By the way, Big Hook coming out right here to Ophelia for this drop. I mean, she's dead. Level 8 Ophelia gets pulled in. Easy kill as a result. I thought there was going to be 5 for sure there, but BMG is like, we can't do anything nearly in time, so.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just... I think the item pickups, if we're going to talk about them again, Tempest Blink Dagger, I would have much rather seen him get the tablet and have the Blink Dagger onto the Devourer, because he's just a stronger initiator. Tempest, of course, has the possibility of getting that huge hole off, but looking at the team he's facing, it's a lot of ranged heroes.
Yeah.
And generally versus ranged heroes, you're not going to be able to get the biggest ultimates off. However, I think his reasoning is something along the lines of, oh,
Tries the bad blast. It lines up a 2. But the counter tips a little bit. No, Ophelia's there after death. Magnus coming in with the eruption. Protectability coming out. It stops a good amount of that damage. Rhapsody dropping low. She will end up falling. Magnus, the beautiful line set up all up. Denied it on to Devour. It doesn't matter. They get the kill though. Tempest is going to fall. Bloodhunter, one auto attack away. Yes, he will go down. Super KGE, man. He is on fire here with his Magnus. Other than that top miss stun, he is just making the biggest plays ever right here for Bad Monkey Gaming.
Yeah, he definitely is playing well. But I think this is a flaw in Sync's strategy. They are a team that they do best when they control the farm on the map and they play it slow. And they're not really doing that. They're forcing bad 5v5 fights. So even though Sync has a lot more resources to play with, they're not utilizing it. And here we go back into the team fight. You see a huge double stun from Magma starting that all off. And then the Tempest ultimate coming in from...
Ophelia, though.
Yeah, exactly. Death. Ophelia, even though she is that, controlling those minions and canceling that Tempest toll, this was definitely a big deal there. And we see the Rhapsody ultimate protecting them from all that damage from the Magnus. But the problem is, they have no damage to return. The Bloodhunter is not outputting any damage at all in terms of auto attacks, and they just don't have any burst.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, Hanskin, that's got to be a boost for him, if anything, because the way this game's been going for him specifically, still level 8, getting completely locked down, you know, being able to make such a big play like that to stop. If he didn't stop that, that fight could have been so much different, even in favor of Sync Esports. So you happen to have the Skeleton King there, stopped it, and now you look at where the game's at. Jonas a fan, he is very close now to that Restoration Stone. He has the Arcana and the Sustainer. He just needs the 1875 gold, of course, now for the Restoration Stone to pull. You got Magnus, probably going to be a Sheepstick to go Blessed Orb to start, but we'll see where it goes from there. Bottom lane, Rhapsody's going to be jumped on here by Kronos, actually, and will be fine in the end. The Staccato Stun's a little too strong to deal with. But then, of course, you got Wretched Act, the Grimoire power is finished, and she's level 15. So level 16, we all know about that Grimoire level 3 Bat Blast combination, especially with the makeup of this team. That's going to be extra deadly, so...
Yeah, they got a lot of really good levels on their team. Even the Magnus is level 14, so he's closing in on that 60 mark. And this is due to the team fights. BMG is a team that I feel shines when they're forcing those fights and they're winning them. And this game, Sync has been forcing really weird fights, and it's really paid off in favor of BMG. They're taking the fights and they're outplaying Sync. And I don't really know. If I was Sync right now, I'd be a little bit shaky. I mean, they had the strategy they had prepared. They knew how to play against this lineup.
Yeah.
And hopefully they're smart enough to realize that, hey, the problem wasn't our draft. It wasn't our strategy. The strategy was sound.
Don't be jealous
we just
of me
played
now.
it wrong. We took bad fights, and we can still play this kind of a lineup again because it's really effective. We noticed Ophelia not being able to do anything at all to those wolves.
Yep. Yeah, you just hit the bottom lane. Excuse me, they're going to be grouping up. I wonder if they're... Okay, yeah, he just got the Restoration Stone. He literally killed enough creeps right there to just buy the Restoration Stone. So this is just amazing timing here from BMG, really. It's going to be delivered. He'll have the Resto Stone. He hasn't shown it just yet, of course. This could be a big fight coming up right here between these two teams. If Sync Esports is not careful, a double bubble could be coming out, and that could be devastating for them to deal with. Tempest does have his ultimate ready to go. So we'll see if he finds his opportunity to make some big plays himself, but maybe not going to be a fight down here. Sync Esports is starting to fall back. We'll see if that changes, though, once the tower starts getting attacked.
KZ going to find that courier, but this is a smart decision from Sync. There's no reason for them to force the fight, but dive coming in here.
Mickey doing his best, but unfortunately not enough in the end. You see right there, Rhapsody will die. And now they're going to push the bottom tower. So easy tower push. Look at what Sync's doing, though. They are going to counter push. Double damage run on the War Beast. And Bloodhunter also. They're going to chase this down. Or, excuse me, kill the tower here. That should be... Oh, Magnus stun again. No, here we go. TP is coming in on top of that. Bloodhunter gets caught. He is in a lot of trouble. Timely on top. He knows he's basically dead at this point. Yes, he will get picked off. So BMG putting priority on actually taking out Bloodhunter and then denying the tower, rather than pushing bottom right there.
Yeah, they're playing it smart. I mean, they're finding the setup kills and they're finding the hero kills that they need to find. It's just BMG, it feels like they're on a different level now, and I feel like Sync Esports are choking a little bit.
Yeah.
They had a strategy they had prepared, and this is something that normally happens. When you prepare for a team, as they have in this situation, and then it just doesn't work out, you start thinking like, oh no, the draft is wrong, we did something wrong, because it's a different kind of thing. We don't see this very often.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to take care of that here real quickly before more action comes on. So if we want to go to us here real quick on the camera, then I can turn that off. Yeah, apparently left the good old Skype on here. As far as that sounds, so I know that sounds keeping it popping up. I apologize for that. As soon as we transition here, I'll look to turn that off here. But as you can see for now, I mean, we do have action at the bottom lane. There's going to be Get to Devour. Devour is going to be picked up. So real quickly here, let me actually. Nope. It just fails all over.
Yeah, and it looks like both teams are falling back. They're going back to their own jungles. And BMG's going to steal some Ancients, maybe go for that Kongor kill. Yeah, it definitely is the Kongor. They still have that Refresher orb up, so whenever they want, they have the Chronos ulti, and if you manage to wait 40 seconds more, they got 2 of them.
Yeah.
Super KG's level 15, going to hit that 16 mark very soon, and that's a big game changer, because once he hits 16, he's going to be doing so much more damage. I think it's almost an additional 400 damage, so it's 300 additional damage over another 0.5 seconds, so a lot more damage coming out of that ultimate.
Yeah, BMG, they have definitely starting to take charge here as far as game number 1 is concerned. There's that token of life picked up on a Wretched Hag after that Kongor kill now, so things are really starting to come together very nicely here, of course. Big item pickup coming along here for Wretched Hag. She just about has the Shrunken Head. In fact, there you go. Has enough gold to buy the Shrunken Head and most likely will deliver it here very shortly. So, Bloodhunter, you know, with that silence, very strong against a hero like Wretched Hag, unless she has that Shrunken Head. Then she's able to use that, of course, remove the silence, and then can go freely on her way from there. So that is absolutely a huge pickup definitely coming out for good old Wretched Hag right there. At the same time, though, Warbeast, a very, very dangerous hero to deal with himself. He does have a Soul's Bulwark and Abyssal Skull Shrunken Head here, so he has definitely farmed a lot nicely. Keizu, 400 plus gold per minute, is most certainly looking scary himself. I mean, if they can manage to kind of, what do you think, Sync Esports? Should they be looking to delay this game as much as possible? Because do they have a really strong late game here, would you say?
It's hard to compete with the Chronos, Magnus, and Hag in the late game, especially when you're this far behind. Magnus just finishing up a Sheep Stick as well. It's going to be difficult for them to compete, but right now, forcing a fight is suicide. So just dodging for now is definitely the right decision. Trying to force it into that late game, maybe try and catch up a little bit in the farming. And this is where they have an advantage. You have those Warbeast Wolves to block camps, to scout with. So dodging teamfights is the right way to go about it. Unfortunately, though, their Bloodhunter's not really that strong, and they probably were expecting a lot more out of Flensmeister picking that hero.
Yeah. Yeah, his farm, you know, it really hasn't shown the most. He's about 300 gold per minute, you know, which is solid again, but maybe not as much as you expected as you're putting it. So top tower going down in favor of the Legion team right there. Bad Monkey Gaming pushing it in. The Restoration Stone obviously already finished on Chronos. I wonder, is that going to be a Staff with the Master or follow-up, or is he just going to go for more of the Shrunken Head route instead? You think Staff with the Master could prove to be very, very powerful here, or is it not worth it?
I definitely think it's a useful item in this game. They got the Magnus, who is going to blink into that Chrono.
Yeah.
So having the Staff of the Master is going to allow him to use his abilities and even auto-attack and get some damage out. But knowing Jonas, it could be anything. And this guy, he is a carry player. He makes sure that he goes carry bills on almost all of his heroes, regardless of what it is. I've seen him go carry items on Chipper.
Okay.
So you never know with a guy. But we see a base push happening here from BMG, but Sync is nowhere close to defend it. There we go, finally getting a TP into base. And Devour's a really scary hero to push in against. Normally you don't see teams forcing this fight without a token, but...
Yeah.
Oh, actually, they do have a token. I completely forgot about that. Wow.
Yep, no, Wretched Hag has that token good to go. So, but yeah, as you're mentioning, Devour with that hook ability can kind of start things when you're not ready for it. You see over here, maybe trying to go for an attempt being sneaky, but in the end, nothing really too much coming out just yet. So, yeah, I was going to say for Chronos, though, if Sound Master also increases the bubble for another second on top of that. So, you know, even another reason why that could be a powerful pickup if he goes that route. But there's the hook attempt, going to miss right there. Splitting the uprights. In the meantime, Magnus says he doesn't care. He's going to pulse the wall. The Sheep's going to be used on a Bloodhunter. He jumps in. Eruption going to be channeled. He did not go off, though. He actually moved just before it went off. Chronos is back here. He has a Chronos Spear, but he's going to be locked down. Rewind procs coming out. Can he get enough first damage? No. Chronos gets the bubble off. And now here we go with the Legion team. Tempest in the background. Oh, he scares him back into the wall. They're timing big time. What is going on with BMG? They just massively dive right there. Tabitha's ultimate coming out. Regina going to be locked down. She is going to resurrect right here with the token of life. Will she be able to flank away? That's the question. No, the stunts come out. Down goes Regina. Bad Monkey Gaming. Why would they go in that far?
That was a massive overextension for them. There's no reason at all to go for that dive. They were getting free racks. They had just missed the hook, and when they miss the hook, that means you're going to be able to sit and hit the tower for at least 12 seconds before he gets that hook up again. And it's just a big misplay. This tournament has been full of so many misplays that you would normally not see happen online. And I don't know. It looks like you can't really call a game earlier than when it's actually over.
Well, both teams have kind of had that streak of momentum now in terms of coming back as well. And yeah, in fact, let's take a look at that fight. Again, this will start with the missed hook. It's like, okay, we're going to still here still. No, Magnus is like, he doesn't want to wait. Super KG jumps big time. He cancels his own eruption, I believe, unless I missed something there.
No, there
I
was
believe
Rhapsody
he just
stun,
blocked. Was it Rhapsody?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe it was canceled. But anyways, but look at just where they are. I mean, they're almost near the well, and the tower was still up at that point. They finally get a kill, but then even the rack's still there. He couldn't get a second bubble up high there. And then in the end, they just start to get cleaned up, and eventually almost all got cleaned up. Back to the live game now. Blooder's getting caught out right here at the top lane. Sheepstick comes out. He puts the hemorrhage out actually, but no, he's gonna get caught with the bubble, and now he is in trouble. Tempest actually is nearby, but cannot get there in time. So bubble trouble indeed. Bloodhunter falls as they're able to catch him. So maybe a little bit overextending there on his part too.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, but BMG, they're running the 5-man train. This is very typical of their style, and I think this is what they need to do at this point. Just play it more carefully. Don't go for that kind of a dive. Just get the tower. I mean, this entire tournament, I think I've been stressing how important it is to just play your lineup the right way. We talked about the Thai teams and how they pick one strategy and then they play something a little bit different. And both Sync, as well as BMG, has been doing that. BMG had an opportunity to just get the racks there, play it slowly, but they didn't. Oh, nice hook attempt from Mickey. It was so close to finding that Hag, which would have been a huge heal in favor of them. Hag closing in on that cheap stick as well. Only needs a big item now to get it. So, yeah, there's no reason for them to rush it. They don't have any bubbles up. Just play it slowly, get the map control, and farm it out from this point on.
Close, but no cigar coming out right there. So, yeah, Bloodhunter is going to be resurrecting in about 7 seconds right here, but doesn't look like he's going to have any other item anytime soon. I mean, he has 1,400 gold saved out, so we'll see where he goes. Speaking of Bloodhunter, okay, so where would you like to see him go? I mean, he's got the Shrunken Head now with that early item build-up. What would make sense to you?
It's a hard item to call. I'd like to see the Hellflower personally. It gives him attack speed, it gives him a lot of damage, but it also provides a very useful item to his team. Yeah. Other builds that we're used to seeing are something like Frostburn, which is not really going to be much of an effective item in this game. Maybe going for Brutalizer could work as well, but definitely something that provides lockdown.
Yeah. We'll see what that turns into. Obviously, Kronos, he did eventually go the Shrunken Head, so no Staff of the Master are going to be coming out in this case. Sheepstick in the works now for Wretched Hag. As we saw earlier, we've talked about several times, Magnus does already have his own Sheepstick. In fact, he has 3,100 to make that 3,200 gold just about saved up here in his situation. So I wonder maybe a Shrunken Head himself, do you see that being viable, or should he go something else here?
The Shrunken Head isn't really going to be very useful for him as long as he allows for some other hero to initiate. And I think with a Kronos behind him, who now has a Shrunken Head of his own, Kronos is going to be able to jump in, get that stun hit as an initiation, and then save the bubble for when he finds an opportunity to use it. And I'd like Magnus to just go something like, honestly, Spell Shards would be pretty good here.
Yeah.
They're an item that got buffed fairly recently, and it's a very effective item. I remember last time we were casting together, I wasn't really too sure on how good the item really was, but doing quite a lot of research and playing with it a little bit has made me realize it's a strong item, and definitely in this kind of a situation where he has the opportunity to get big ultis off that hit multiple heroes.
Speaking of Brutalizer, as I mentioned earlier, Warbeast actually picks it up right there himself. A very good candidate, of course, for an item like that. So 2,200 gold saved up with Bloodhunter, so once again, we'll see what that comes down to. Magnus, though, 4,200 gold saved up now, so okay, he is going to go the Shrunken Head. So yeah, a little bit maybe against what you're saying as far as you're not really a huge fan of it, but in the end, obviously deciding for himself that it makes sense here.
Yeah, I just don't like the pickup. I don't feel any reason to get it. If he does initiate, he's probably not going to be initiating on the Devour, and that means the Devour is going to be canceling his ulti even through that BKB.
Yeah.
So I don't like the pickup from Super KG at all.
You see right here, Kronos continuing to clear out the jungle. Another 1,600 gold saved up himself. So again, Kronos fan, he's got the rest of still with that Shrunken Head. What route will he go? Maybe he will start to go now for more of that carry presence. That's who put it. He seems like a kind of player, no matter what he's playing, he likes to kind of be able to have that capability there. And Kronos most certainly one that can be threatening with that appropriate build. Firebrand picked up by Flensmeister here, actually, as far as his item choice goes. So it makes sense to you?
Not really. He's going for that more standard build. He's trying to build himself up into an auto-attacking carry that stays on a target for a long time. I would have much rather seen the Hellflower just provide more lockdown for your team. You got to think more as a team than as a carry player. But normally, when he plays that build, I'm sure he goes to the Frostburn build, but just not respecting how much gold BMG has and how little impact that Frostburn is going to have this late into the game.
So for a game that's had tons of action, we've actually been in a little bit of a null period here for the last 5 minutes or so. 36.5 minutes in. Still 23 to 21 hero kills, but not too shabby at all. But you got a little bit of an null phase here. So again, it kind of seems like both teams in that space of let's just farm a little bit more. Let's get a little more comfortable with our item build. Which team do you think this is favoring more right now?
It's hard to call because BMG has a strong late game team. They're definitely going to do good in the late game. But the problem with the late game is that when both teams have potential in the late game, normally it's hard to call an advantage, regardless of gold and experience. Because 9,000 gold experience early game is a big deal, but as you progress into the later stages of the game, it's basically nothing. So if this goes on for another 10, 15 minutes, even if the gold advantage stays the same, they're not really ahead anymore. So you could say that Sync is slowly coming back into the game.
Yeah.
But then again, you got to keep the double Chronos in mind and that hag that is absolutely huge. And I can't wait to see the refresher on her. That's going to annihilate with the Chronos ultimate.
You think the refresher or the restoration stun's going to be next?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Seems like a very powerful choice. We've definitely seen that before. Of course, double Sheep Stick as well as double Bat Blast. Obviously, very, very nice combo to have. So again, though, still a lot more of the farm here. Kongor is up. There is a Ward of Sight, or Ward of Rev even, in the vicinity here, placed by Seal Kid. It's going to be wearing off, though, very shortly. So vision around Kongor is going to be dark really for both teams at this point. But there is the Hellborn advantage as it's put in. Obviously, Sync Esports does have that advantage here with the Kongor pit for the time being. And guess what? Both teams are in the vicinity now. So it's almost as if make mention of it, and all of a sudden everyone's like, yeah, Kongor. Snake Bracelet, I believe I just saw. Picked up by Kronos, by the way. So that's going to eventually lead into a wing bow, of course, but getting the Snake Bracelet here for the evasion at least at this point.
He's going up against a lot of physical damage hitters, and the two main carries on the Hellborn side are melee heroes who are going to be trying to land auto attacks. As initiation does happen onto the Devourer, Kronos is going to pop the BKB, and Devourer's going down.
Yep, he is going to end up falling right here, but at what cost in the meantime? Torch is falling, but now Blood Hunters is trouble. There's the damage, all the way will be stopped. Yes, and well, Kronos Bubble comes out. Protectability of the century coming out for support, though. The double bubble. The cup will get caught in it. Sheepstick going to Blood Hunter in the meantime. He's going to be locked out. Finally gets the side top of the Magnus, but here comes Warbeast now with his Shrunken Head. Devourer buys back, and will this be a comeback in this fight for Sync Esports, or is BMG going to prove to be too much? Warbeast falls. Wretched Axe stays alive with a blink. Devourer's trying to chase, but it's just not going to happen. Bad Monkey Gaming doing just enough right there, despite the circumstances. Unbelievable. That protectability was absolutely ludicrous, but still not enough to survive.
Yeah, Slap did buyback there as well, and it looks like he was going to go down again, but barely managing to escape there, using the fog and getting in and getting away there with a blink dagger.
Yeah.
Now we see BMGs are going to get Kongor. They're not stressing it. We saw Cats earlier today against MRR winning fairly effectively, but then throwing a teamfight away at base. BMG more experienced. They know not to do that.
Yeah.
Going for that Kongor, but look at this. They're going to find a Sheepstick opportunity onto the Blood Hunter. He's going to drop 50% HP. And they're chasing Tempest as well.
Yeah, I think now this is more of Sync. Oh, wow, he gets the kill, actually. And he heals up, so this is actually maybe a lot better for Sync Esports than I was thinking. Magnus stuns back in. Kronos this year doesn't have a bubble just yet, though. They will get to go to Blood Hunter, and now Warbeast is chasing that Magnus, but now he's in a vulnerable spot. Tempest comes in to put the stun. Warbeast with that ulti force. The chain reactions just missing right there. He will be fine for now. Will he get away is the big question. Look at that. He drops the Logger's Hatchet to buy TP. And yes, he will actually get away. They chase Tempest, though, for good reason, and Tempest will end up falling as a result. Man, we had that null phase, but all of a sudden, action of the century just picking up once again. Rhapsody is being caught out. And yeah, look at Kronos even. Jonas Man just doesn't give two shits. He's going deep into the base once again. This backfired last time for BMG, but maybe this is a little bit better of a spot to be. And Devour, yep, he will die. He will die in the end. And now Warbeast is going to have to really probably fall back here.
Yeah, it might not look like a big deal, but they actually managed to force the Shrunken Head out of Warbeast. And now he doesn't have an ulti or Shrunken Head for 50 seconds. And that's going to allow them to go for this Rax push with all the heroes down as well. So it's basically a 5-0 wipe in favor of BMG, forcing down the Rax, and they got the Kongor to fall back to. It's fairly low HP. Important to note, Fuzi did use a buyback in that fight to come back to the team fight and help his teammates.
I glanced over real quickly at the player cams while we see them just pushing him in right here. And Super KG, it looked as if he was pumped up, basically saying, let's go, and cheering on his teammates right there after that hell of a fight. So clearly they are feeling really good right now. Again, yes, they want to win 2 games, I'm sure, But really, if they just win one game, they are guaranteed first place here out of Group B. So once again, you take another look right here. Holy crap.
Yeah, Tempest gets a fairly big ultimate, but it's canceled almost immediately from Magnus. But look at that Rhapsody ultimate, denying all sorts of damage during the bubble. Unfortunately, Kronos did catch a lot of his teammates, so it didn't make the biggest difference at the end of the day. And the second bubble canceled the Rhapsody ultimate, even though it wasn't really necessary, secure them the team fight win. And they're just so far ahead in gold and experience now that it's just not really going to matter.
Yeah. Yeah, they have a 20,000 plus goalie, 26,000 plus experience league coming out here in favor of Bad Monkey Gaming. So, yeah, Sync Esports, again, they're in that spot of they're still going to give it their best effort because they, again, as I don't even know if I fully stated it, but again, if Sync Esports managed to win this series 2-0, they would actually be first place coming out of Group B, believe it or not. So there was also that on the line here, and that would have been, that's huge because the big reason is actually, in my opinion, though, that's just an illusion. If you get first place here in your group, you're lining yourself up to have to face Day Green in the grand finals, which is definitely what these teams are thinking about. Instead, if you lose here, or if you finish second or third place even, there's a good chance you'll have to face them in the semifinals before the grand finals. So obviously very, very important to note. So welcome back to us. Look at, I can't believe you still have those shades on, by the way.
Yeah, it's so hard to cast in this. I have no idea how Nova does it. I have no idea how he does it.
So simple. He really does.
It's so dark with these. I mean, when I take them off, I can actually see the screen.
But you're going to leave them on.
I'm going to leave them on for now.
They're so cool.
I'm so cool, right? I
You
feel
are
so cool looking at myself. No, but looking at, I mean, the situation right now, you know, if you're Sync, you're like, we got to win this game. If we lose this game, there's no way we're winning the group. So it's understandable that they're not conceding, but I feel like you're 20, a lot behind. And the chance of you coming back with this kind of a lineup is very, very small. They had a strategy, but they just didn't execute it. And it's a shame because it was a really nicely well thought through strategy. And in theory, it should have worked perfectly. But yeah, a lot of mistakes, I think.
I'm trying to remember, like, specifically, where did they go wrong? Because, again, they locked down Ophelia amazingly. But clearly, there was just a lot of action earlier on. I mean,
it was a lot of fights in the the Legion jungle that just didn't go their way. And they needed to win those fights. They didn't even need to force them to start with. But if you do force them, you got to win them. And they were playing the resource game. And when you do that, you're playing a slow game. Remember TDM complexity. Not a lot of kills happening in those games because both teams are trying to play the resource game. Just controlling the resources on the map. And that's what, Sync are trying to do. But when you take those fights, you're giving the gold into the fights. And even though you go evenly in the fights, it's not good because both teams are gaining gold. And instead of you guys getting ahead from just farming slowly getting ahead, both teams are getting gold and they're getting what they need.
Yeah. I'm actually checking real quickly if I can get an update on another series. Yeah, it looks like it's MRR versus ADN. MRR actually won that game, it looks like. Looks like a pretty epic game, too, about 53 minutes. So MRR wins that game, so they're up 1-0 now against ADN. Again, MRR only 1 point there, or 2 points, excuse me, in that Group A. So if they do go 2-0, that'll put them at 5 points, and that would secure second place for them, actually. So they really want to go 2-0, though, get second place. They're up 1-0. We'll see if ADN can even it up. Other results, let me check. Maybe S2Y. See where they're at. They're about 20 minutes in against Turtle Master, and right now that's a very even game. I want to say that's the first game. Actually, it might be the second game. Let me double check on that real quickly to see if that maybe is game number. It is game number 2, actually. S2Y won the first game. So, and that was it looks like about a 24-minute game right there. So S2Y, again, 0 points in Group B so far. Very surprising, but they had to play BMG and Sync Esports, so tough battle. But they're up 1-0 now against Turtle Master.
Yeah, they are a team that, according to Southeast Asian players, they are the team to beat. Yeah, they are absolutely dominant in the Southeast Asian scene, but they've been really struggling against BMG as well as Sync Esports. And I don't know if that's because of them having too much respect for these teams or what it is, a little bit of fear, but they just haven't been looking like themselves. I was watching a couple of replays last night when I was going to bed, and this is a team that plays really well normally. And MRR, they've been doing so good against Day Green, and they've been doing good against Sync and Scrims as well. And Asians are surprised that, they're doing better than S2Y.
Yeah. S2Y, again, this is also really important because they need to go 2-0 here to actually advance on. If they even drop a game against Turtle Master, they're done. So they need to go 2-0 to advance on to the bracket stage. So they got game 1 out of the way. But now it's the same thing for Turtle Master now, though, too. So whoever wins that next game basically is going to be moving on. So talk about a very big game right there. to keep in mind. So, yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye on that one. I'm seeing if I maybe have anything else as far as updates go. I don't believe I do. So, I think there's only the one other game, Cats Gaming. I guess it would be. Yeah. Let's see if we can see if on him. They are in a game right now, 23 minutes in. Cats versus State Green, of course. Wow. I mean, State Green looks like they're winning, but it's a pretty close battle, actually. It's not like overwhelming by any means. Yeah. Looking at the stats, so.
That is the second game, and they completely crushed the first game. I'm looking at the stats, and actually, you know what? Nobody on State Green died. They played a perfect game.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, I looked at Cats, and I've been sitting behind them, and they were really hyped at the start of the day. And they were looking good. They were looking strong against MRR. They made a couple of misplays that made the game go to 73 minutes. But initially, they looked like they were going to stomp that game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they've been playing pretty well. Unfortunately, it feels like they've been tilting a little bit. After they lost 2-0 to ADN, it's just not been looking like the same team, unfortunately.
Yeah. So, unless I'm mistaken, I believe now that what that means, State Green is going to be first place. Because I think that puts them at 5 points no matter what happens. And, yeah, ADN with their loss, the most that they could have is now 4 points. So,
correct.
Yeah, that does mean that State Green will be no. Because if MRR actually if MRR actually, because they had 2 points, if they go 2-0, they would have 5 points as well.
But State Green is sitting at.
But State Green is sitting at. There we go. It's in front of us. There we go. So MRR, if they go 2-0, they would be at 5 points. And State Green, if they split the series, it'd be 5 points.
Yeah, exactly.
And as far as State there, they split against each other actually. So it would have to be a best of one.
Best of one, yeah, that's true.
So, and that would be to determine first place, which is obviously very important. So State Green, they still are playing for something, absolutely.
Yeah, they definitely are. That is a good point to bring up.
Yeah.
And looking at the results of the first game, I have no doubt that State Green is going to do well in the second game as well. It's just, I think it has a lot to do with play styles and the way that the CIS teams play. It just doesn't mesh well against the way that a lot of the NAEU teams play.
Yeah.
But a base push is happening here. Fuzi does have the token on him, and he's sitting out 3,700 gold, but they don't really seem to care. They know that they're really far ahead, and they're going to go for the Rax push here. Mickey needs to get a big hook on one of the important heroes, preferably not Hag. If he can catch the Magnus, that'd be great.
That would be ideal, but look at where Magnus is. Well, he's right there, actually. Okay, it's not that he's way, way far back, but no, he's actually in a vulnerable spot, but in the end, kind of not really. They're just pushing the Rax. They give it up. They just can't fight right here. They're not feeling comfortable whatsoever. So they're going to let one set of racks go, or that's the second set of racks. So, yeah, I don't know why. I mean, that's at that point of, like, you might as well try, right? But they are pushing the bottom lane in the meantime with Bloodhunter and War Beast. But BMG just doesn't care. They're just going to push to the bottom lane. They could get mega creeps here. They could absolutely finish the game right here. So, as much as this counter push is pretty here for St. Esports, maybe they think it is their only chance, so they're just trying to go for it. Hook is going to miss right there. There goes the tower. The Rax starting to drop. Team Barrier is going to be popped. Rax going to be locked down with the Team Tick. He is going to be stunned on as well. Super KG once again, though, in a very vulnerable spot. He pops a Struck and a lot of physical damage are coming out. He gets down right on top. Chronosphere number 1 going to be coming out, though. And Magnus will barely survive. No, he will end up falling as he goes down right there. Cronus in the meantime, though, second bubble comes out. Devour's going to fall. Warbeast is dead. That should do it. GG, well played. Game number 1 will go to Bad Monkey Gaming over Sync Esports. And you can see they're happy and understandably.
Yeah, they know that they've won the group.
First place.
Everything is set. And they managed to deal with a very annoying strategy. I think the more important thing than anything is they beat Sync when Sync had an advantage going into the game. Sync had the better draft, did a smarter setup. Yeah. They knew what to do to win the game. They had everything prepared for it. But unfortunately, he just did not execute. And Fuzi ending up at 17-5 definitely was a big deal in that game. So well played from him.
Yeah, no, let's look at the stats here real quick. He's a 17-5. Geez, that's an impressive stat line, definitely. But yeah, as you mentioned, Hanskin's like, what a relief that has to be, man, for Hanskin there especially. He just got completely locked down. We're taking a look at the last fight right here as far as how the game ended. But obviously, even at this point, it was just so much of an advantage for Bad Monkey Gaming. So Sync just doing whatever they can here. But yeah,
it was a pretty good opportunity there. Magnus stunning him very deep. Slap and his team not really able to find that opportunity to get him down, though. But I really think at the end of the day, Bloodhunter, a pick that didn't work out at all for them because of those fights that they took early on, instead of playing the game smartly. And as you can notice here, the farm is just way too big in favor of BMG.
So with that said as well, obviously we're going to be going to a short break right here. Game number 2 going to be coming up next. But again, as you were pointing out, Bad Monkey Gaming, they're still going to give it their A effort because they want to make a statement, if anything. So, and Sync Esports especially, they need to win here. They do not want to lose this game because that could set up some bad things and possibly having to play a tiebreaker. So, well, actually, can it? Because Turtle Master lost. And they're at this is what I hate about group
So
stage.
confusing.
There's so many things.
But
they're going to play the match. They want to win. Both of the teams want to win no matter.
Exactly.
There could be nothing on the line. We talk about this all the time. They want to win, especially in environmental. That's what matters in the end. So, anyways, we're going to be going to a break right here. After that, I believe we're going to come back quickly with the interview. I think Beef is actually going to be ready to talk with you guys, with maybe with some updates as well. And then eventually game number 2 going to be happening. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. HoN Tour World Finals here for season number 2 coming at you live from Bangkok, Thailand. Stay tuned. Game number 2 coming up next.
All right, everybody, welcome back here. We're at the HoN Tour World Finals in Bangkok, Thailand. Right behind me, you can see the crowd watching the Myth S2Y versus Turtle Master match. Of course, 2 Thai rivals squaring off down here in the players area. A very important game. Turtle Master coming into this one with 1 point. Their only point coming from Sync Esports. Myth S2Y, they came into this one with 0 after being taken out by both BMG and the guys at Sync. Now, right now, Myth is up 1-0 in this series, and there is a large crowd behind me watching this offstage match because they're tied up right now, 1 point each. The winner of this final game in the group stage decides which of these 2 teams is going to be going home and which one is going to be getting into our quarterfinals later tonight. Currently, the match is dead even, and right now, right behind me, there could be even the teams getting loud because that's what Myth has been doing the entire time. There's a crazy match going on there with BMG Sync for sure, but this one with Myth S2Y has the crowd behind it here at the venue, and it is getting absolutely nuts. Also going on right next to me, we have Cats Gaming taking on Stay Green in what is left to be a pretty important match. If Stay Green, who's currently 1-0 against Cats, were to lose this final game, they could actually tie in their group for first place. The Cats, they're fighting in there right now, and it's actually a pretty even game at about 25 minutes in. On the other side of the stage, we of course have ADN Gamer. They're sitting at 0-1 right now in their match against Neo MRR. So a very important one over there as well. But anyway, we'll be getting back to the match at hand. BMG versus Sync. Of course, BMG leading 1-0. We'll be back with that one in a moment, live from Bangkok, Thailand.